Good evening, community, colleagues, and friends. I hope that each of you and your families are doing well this evening. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, our faculty, and our staff, we welcome you to the 2021 virtual celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Will you please join me in our invocation? A great creator, to say that we are living in extraordinary times is truly an understatement. We are grateful to you for this opportunity to gather in this way this evening. We stand ready to use the gifts that you have given us to move through these times. We are grateful to you for what you have given us. It is through our faith, our strength, our courage, and our wisdom that we will and move forward and moving mountains and pushing forward. In your great name we pray. Amen.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon. Formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, the spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it goes down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots be on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory. Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won. We'll fight on to the finish. And when it's all done, we'll cry glory. Oh, glory. We'll cry glory. Oh, glory. Selma is now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win the war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord. My eyes have seen the glory. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day,
stopped your video, Jojo.
It says the host has stopped your video.
Say you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it. Thank you. Well, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead and do it. I'm listening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. I wanted to take just a brief moment and share with you that there is a program for tonight's event that is on the Mitchell site where you got this link if you would like a further program. I have the extreme honor this evening of introducing our speaker. Our speaker is Mr. Brian Duncan. He is a certified community action professional. He's worked in the community action area since 1993. He is a native of Statesville, and he is a 1990 graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, where he received a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology. Mr. Duncan started his career in community action as a case manager with the Job Training Partnership Act, which is also known as JTPA, Summer Youth Employment and Training Program at the Salisbury-Rowan Community Action Agency. He subsequently became the case manager for the JTPA Title II-C Out of School Youth Program and remained with this Salisbury agency through the transition to the Workforce Investment Act Youth Program. In 2004, he was promoted to the Human Resources Director for SRCAA, overseeing human resource generalist duties for a staff of more than 230 employees. In January of 2006, Brian was hired as the Executive Director of iCare Incorporated, which operates programs in Iredell, Lincoln, Alexander, and Catawba counties in North Carolina. Since arriving at iCare, Brian has helped grow the budget of iCare from $1.6 million to over $4 million. He currently serves as the chair of the National Community Action Partnership Board of Directors, the member of the North Carolina Action Association Board of Directors, member of the Southeastern Association of Community Action Agencies Board of Directors, chair of the Greater Statesville Chamber of Commerce, co-founder of the Partnership for Equity Iredell, and member of the Rotary Club of Statesville. Mr. Duncan is a nationally certified, results-oriented management and accountability trainer, a certified poverty simulation trainer, an active member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, and Mr. Duncan and his wife, Pam, have two sons, Darius, who's 29, and Khalil, who is 26. It is our honor and privilege to have Mr. Duncan with us tonight. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Brian Duncan.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for that introduction. I'm pleased to be with you this evening. I want to thank you for taking the time from your schedule to help celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Today happens to be his birth date, so that makes this honor even more special. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak
Mr. Duncan, I'm so sorry. It appears that your mic maybe has gone off.
Okay,
There you go.
did it again.
We've got you again. There we go. Thanks.
All right. So good evening. Thank you for taking the time from your schedule to help celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Today happens to be his birth date, so that makes this honor even more special. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to you this evening as part of this celebration of Dr. King, whom I count as one of my heroes. one who inspires me to do my part to carry on his legacy and vision for this country. Thanks to Dr. Tim Brewer and the Mitchell Community College event organizers for the invitation. On behalf of the iCare Board of Directors and staff, I want to publicly thank Mitchell Community College for the partnership and friendship over the years as we seek to destroy the yokes of poverty and help families loosen themselves out of its ravaging grip. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge Carolyn Gray and Donna Hogue, board members of iCare who work at Mitchell, as well as my wife, Pam Duncan, members of my family, my staff, and my board chair, Michelle Edwards, who are in the listening audience. In his speech in Memphis the night before he was assassinated, a weary Dr. King, in a foreshadowed sense of finality, said, "Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it doesn't really matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." And thinking about how many times you've probably heard that before, have you ever taken the time to think about where there is? While Dr. King made mention of the promised land, making a direct analogy to the land God promised to Abraham and his descendants, Dr. King did not define it beyond the promised land. He said, "I may not get there with you." But what was this promised land? Where was this there? If you know anything about Dr. King and his teachings, he spoke often of the beloved community. You see, the beloved community is a place that many have visions of. It has been defined as a place that seeks an end to poverty, hunger, and homelessness, racism and discrimination of all kinds, and works to replace such bigotry and prejudice with a true sense of sisterhood and brotherhood. A place where neighbors look out for neighbors and peace and justice abundantly thrive. The beloved community is a place where the work of conflict reconciliation has found its successful destination. In my preparation for tonight, I found one organization who said that the beloved community is fair. The beloved community is just. The beloved community is built on love, not just any love, but as Dr. King said, the love of God operating in the human heart. That's a practical love that requires active participation. When that love is truly and fully present, it compels us to act. See, I'm making sure that this concept of the beloved community is well defined for a reason. In this community, this beloved community, again, poverty, hunger, and homelessness, racism, and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will not be tolerated because standards of human decency will not allow it. It's a place where the civil rights activist Brian Stevenson would find comfort because there he would see exactly what he's been saying, that the opposite of poverty is not wealth. The opposite of poverty is justice. I see many people and organizations out here doing phenomenal work. They're walking out their desires to make this world a better place. My involvement at Partnership for Equity Iredell is certainly an example of those efforts. As well, we at iCare are so fortunate to be able to do the work we do in community action alongside 1,000 other agencies across this country that seek to live out the values of equity, respect, commitment, hope, community, caring, and opportunity as we do our part to build this beloved community. There are certain beliefs we feel this beloved community must have, so in order to get there, these beliefs must be held. We believe all people should be treated with dignity and respect, and recognize that structural race, gender, and other inequities remain barriers that must be addressed. We believe that this nation has the capacity and the moral obligation to ensure that no one is forced to endure the hardships of poverty. We believe that with hope, adequate resources, and opportunities, everyone can reach their fullest potential. To repeat the oft-repeated line of the 3-year-old child in the backseat of the car on the way to vacation, are we there yet? As I thought about the answer to that question as it relates to this topic, I was led largely by a sense of sadness after witnessing the insurrection at the Capitol last week. Not to be a bearer of bad news, while certainly acknowledging the progress we've made, we are obligated to tell the truth. Just think of everything we have seen since last year this time. I don't need to remind you specifically, but the common thread of personal and systemic racism is woven through each incident. You see, in the beloved community, recurring racist events will not happen. So no, we aren't there yet. In fact, we are still some distance from the beloved community. As we seek to understand the concept of this beloved community, that promised land, that place of there, particularly after seeing recent events in America, it begs the question also posed by Dr. King. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? My friends, I'm here to tell you, I choose community. I've seen enough chaos. I don't want my children and future grandchildren to live through this chaos, and I hope you don't want yours to either. The question then becomes, well, how do we get there? Dr. King said, in the days ahead, we must not consider it unpatriotic to raise certain basic questions about our national character. Let us be those creative dissenters who will call our beloved nation to a higher destiny, to a new plateau of compassion, to a more noble expression of humanness. In 1968, the Kerner Commission was formed by President Lyndon B. Johnson to assess why riots were happening across the country. At the time, some said, much like today, that it was due to outside agitators or young Black men who were selected as the faces of the protest. This commission, comprised of a very diverse group of white and Black people from both sides of the political aisles from across the country, through their research and internal fact-finding and debate, concluded very succinctly that white racism was the fuel behind all the rioting and Black anger. In fact, the commission warned Mind you, and this was in 1968, the commission warned that America was heading toward two societies, one black, one white, separate and unequal. According to the Smithsonian Magazine, the commission unveiled the truth and laid out goals to address identified accelerants to the problems of the day. In an almost carbon copy of our current environment, those accelerants included bad policing practices, a flawed justice system, unscrupulous consumer credit practices, poor or inadequate housing, high unemployment, voter suppression, and other culturally embedded forms of racial discrimination, which all converged to propel violent upheaval on the streets of neighborhoods in American cities across the country. That was over 50 years ago. So I submit to you that the road to the beloved community will not be smooth. In fact, it is hardly paved at all. To get there, we must endure. We must listen. We must learn from our past. And it does involve a sacrifice of comfort for many whom have enjoyed the self-entitled advantages of living in this country. It's about compassion and concern for your fellow man. Not such that's based upon the fragile social construct of race, but compassion that is rooted in the love that we are called to extend to our fellow man. It's about bringing a chorus of diverse voices together, being intentionally inclusive of others, and in the process, learning from others through talking to them. You see, the beloved community doesn't mean that everything will be perfect. I think it means that when imperfect people come together, we can reach solutions to our problems that get us closer to a more perfect union. So the question again, my friends, where do we go from here? Community or chaos? I am one of those eternal optimists who still believes that this is a fixed fight and that love wins in the end. But I also believe it's a full 15-round fight. It's not a 3-round fight made for a TV exhibition. In this fight to defeat racism and reach beloved community status, there will be setbacks. There will be hurdles to cross and mountains to climb, but there will also be victories along the way. You see, racism is a disease. In fact, recently, the American Medical Association declared racism a public health crisis. My friends, what I would offer is that this disease of racism was never properly treated to begin with. When we seem to make anything more than incremental progress, something always seems to cause the disease to reemerge. If we are going to heal from this infectious disease, it will take like-minded folks being stronger and more determined than the racists who strive to keep it alive. Inherent in the healing process is truth-telling. Telling the truth about the 450-year history and the origins of racism in our country. That must be part of the journey towards the beloved community, for there is no lasting reconciliation without truth. As I close, to reach the promised land, the beloved community, we can't let hate win. I choose love because, in the fitting words of Dr. King, hate is too great a burden to bear. Thank you for your time this evening.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I said, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there have been times that I thought I couldn't last for long. Now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society, finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summit of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America that is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. They have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. As we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our body is heavy with the fatigue of travel. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution, staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities. Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have slaves and the sons of former slave owners? Will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream
As we conclude this evening, let me first start by thanking Brian Duncan. Brian, thank you for bringing relevant and on-point conversations and thoughts for us this evening. I also want to thank our Equity and Inclusion Council, more specifically, the Special Events Subcommittee that's worked so hard to put this together. I hope that each and every one of us will leave this program tonight in deep thought about how we can leave this place this evening and not forget the things that we've heard, and that we are truly committed to doing something to help us all move forward. On behalf of this college, I thank you so much for your time this evening, and I hope you each have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.